sports? Do you like beer? Do you love sports and beer? Then you're exactly where you need to be. This is the Huebs Views Brews show on 1252 Sports Chicago. Cheers.
There we are. Everything was so good, and then they fade to black. That's what Joniak usually says after a Bears victory. He was able to say it 3 times this year. Fade to black. That's it. Jeff also, by the way, co-broadcaster of the year in Illinois, along with Layla Rahimi. Congratulations to both of you. Welcome on in a Monday night after the NFL regular season comes to an end. Broadcasting live here from the Whistle Sports Bar and Grill 159 Studios in beautiful downtown Lockport. I'm Fred Huebner. Fat Mike's going to join us in a couple minutes. I'm still finishing up the Huebner beer from Nick and Ivy, one of our big sponsors. And and I haven't even mentioned this to Mike yet today, but it was 1 year ago today that I did my final show on ESPN 1000. It was a Bears postgame show. No doubt a loss. And before they got rid of Matt Nagy. Now we're doing a podcast a day after the Bears season ends. And I've been retired for a year. So this is to me. I think you can see me on that. There you go. Boom. Kind of like one of those things from John Candy. You guys don't remember that. John Candy on the TV show Fridays, I think it was called, or whatever. Or SCTV. But so anyway, we got a lot to talk about today. Bears season's over. And amazingly, they get the first pick in the NFL draft, which will be coming up in April sometime. And we'll talk about that. David Haw on the score earlier today, and I didn't listen to it. I just read it on Twitter. Not that I don't listen to the score. I don't, but that's not the point. David Haw brings up the point that he really thought this year was a miserable year, not because of the Bears season, but because so many fans were rooting for the Bears to lose so they can get the number 1 draft pick. As it turns out, they did get the number 1 draft pick. But I understand his point. It is kind of miserable to have your fans rooting for you to lose and being very, very happy because of the loss and everything else. You get the number 1 pick. And listen, we got Ryan Poles. We'll see what Ryan Poles does. Mike's got Mike's been all day long. Mike's been trying to figure out draft scenarios, trade scenarios. Let's trade with Seattle. Let's trade with the Lions. Let's trade with someone. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. We'll do that after I finish this Huebner beer. I got another one, so we'll pop that in just a minute. I know it's the NCAA championship game. I don't watch college football. I didn't watch the semifinals. I know they were supposedly exciting. I also know that the Big Ten teams lost both games, Ohio State and Michigan. Yeah. I know a couple of Michigan grads, and I really like them. Fans, Scott Merkin, big Michigan fan. We had Scott Merkin on the show a couple times between me and Fat Mike. We had a little bit of baseball news too.
Right back. You keep talking.
I will keep talking. That's what I do.
That's what you're here for.
That's what I'm here for. I just keep talking. So we'll talk about the Bears season being over. A 3-14 season. You lose 10 in a row to close out the year. A franchise record, 10 straight losses. It's the 11th last place finish in the last 30 years for your Chicago Bears. That's right. Your Chicago Bears, 11th last place finish in the last 30 years. Not good. They get the number 1 pick in the draft. A lot of trade possibilities. We'll discuss that. And they have a ton of money to spend in free agency. Their salary cap, they have more than $110 million to spend. Okay. That's awesome. So free agency doesn't open until March 13th. There'll be plenty of time to talk about that. But I'm watching the game yesterday. I knew Nathan Peterman was coming in. I didn't know Tim Boyle was even on this team. Okay. So he came in. The Bears lose. A lot of the broadcasters today saying the Bears did it the right way. They tanked. They lost. They did all that. David Montgomery, who may have played his last game with the Chicago Bears, goes over to the 50-yard line when the game's over, takes some pictures of the stadium and all that stuff. Lots to discuss with the Chicago Bears. As soon as Mike decides to sit down, he's walking around doing some housework here.
I got like 5 pads of paper over here, the whole nine. Yeah, I know.
And then let's talk about DeMar Hamlin, because last week we were not on. Okay, DeMar Hamlin gets just for a second, because everybody else, it's on the network news. And
I know
DeMar Hamlin, he's doing better. He's transferred to a Buffalo hospital. He's watching the game yesterday. He gets excited, pulls out his cords and all this kind of stuff. And it is wonderful. And everyone's talking about it's amazing, it's tremendous. I agree. The only thing, and before I left, Linda said, "You're such a curmudgeon." Yeah, I can be, but I'm just trying to point out there are many people around the country that have cardiac arrest and get revived and come back. It happens. That's why the defibrillators are there. That's why CPR is there. It happens. It just doesn't happen on a football field very often. That's the only time it's happened. Chuck Hughes passed away way back when in 1971, playing against the Bears in Detroit at Tiger Stadium. It's amazing. I'm happy he's there. People donating to his charity, which he was trying to raise $2,500. He's raised over $8 million. That's great. The kids in Detroit are going to get a lot of toys, I guess, with $8.8 million or something like that. It is a wonderful thing. And but he's going to be okay. It seems he's going to be fine.
He probably won't play football again.
He may.
I would put that bet on a hard no.
We'll watch. And what the Buffalo Bills did, something very, very cool. He signed a 4-year deal for $3.6 million. I'm close, I think. And it was a thing where they could split it up. Right. And he'd only make it per year. Now they've reworked the paperwork, so he's going to get all that money.
Right.
And for the Buffalo Bills to do that was awesome.
Very stand-up, very class act from an organization that has that demeanor to them as it is as right now anyway.
Yeah, yeah. When they're on top, when you're the Buffalo Bills and you're on top. The one thing they did show on TV yesterday, and I had just got done telling Linda about this, because the Vikings were playing the Bears, Soldier Field. We'll talk about that in a minute. And I said, yeah, the Vikings are 0-4 in Super Bowls. She goes, "Oh, that's terrible." I said, I got one better. The Buffalo Bills lost 4 years in a row in the Super Bowl. And so the Bills and the Vikings are both, trying to get to the Super Bowl to get a victory. And they talk about the other teams that have not won. There's one team that's 0-3, then a couple 0-2 teams and things like that. But the Bears season's over. We've been doing these shows throughout the entire season. I remember the season opening show we did right down the street over at Nick and Ivy.
Yeah.
We were hoping for good things.
They beat your 49ers in the rain game. Yeah.
In the rain, they beat the 49ers, who right now go in as the second seed in the NFC. The 49ers play Seattle in the first game on Super Wild Card. It's not just Wild Card weekend. It's Super Wild Card weekend. And that'll be the first game on Saturday, about 3:15, being played in Santa Clara. But the one question that I think a lot of people are talking about with the Bears getting the number 1 pick, there's a lot of people that still question if Justin Fields is the guy. I'm not.
If they are, they didn't watch the season. I mean, plain and simple. Yes, he struggled the first 6 weeks. I mean there's no other way to put it. He did struggle. He looked great with his legs, but still couldn't get over that hump of throwing the ball. From week 6 on, he's been top 5 quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, legit. He has been top 5 quarterback in the league. Whether it be with his legs, his arm, we've seen the progression grow out of Justin Fields. I think there's no doubt of any true Chicago Bear fan that you can see that he is the guy going forward. I mean, he covers it all.
Yeah, there are a lot of football fans that always want to see the next big thing.
Right.
Justin Fields is your next big thing. You went out, you got him 2 years ago. He's going to be the next big thing, okay? He was the next big thing this year. He's the only quarterback to rush for over 1,000 yards this year, more than 1,000 yards this year. He was amazing. I got some numbers to show you where the Bears need help. Of course, they need help on offense, the offensive line. But the run defense allowed 2,674 yards. That was the worst. They were sacked 20. Their defensive line, 20 sacks altogether,
That's
the fewest
terrible.
in the NFL. Jaquan Brisker, the rookie, had 4. He led the team in sacks.
That's ridiculous.
He had 4. The quarterback was sacked 58 times this year. That led the NFL. The O-line, 9 different starting combinations. And that's one of the biggest things. That's where it all comes down to. You got to get the offensive line set so you can do things with the offensive line, do things for your quarterback, your running back, and things like that. They had a revolving door. When you see 9 different combinations on offensive line in 17 games, that's brutal.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. And it's something that I've been saying and chirping for the last, Fred.
Well, the day they drafted Justin Fields, we were Nick and Ivy, and you were pissed.
Yeah, I was. And I still talk about this. It's brought up every time. Everybody thinks that I hate Justin Fields, and that's not the case. The case is that at that point we had Trubisky. And at this point, like, why are you taking the quarterback if he's not going to be an immediate help?
Right.
In the immediate help, it was glaring hole that the offensive line was booty. It was just ass. It was not good.
Yeah.
Next round, you go out and grab Tevin Jenkins. That really put me at ease. Because, yeah, we got a quarterback hopefully for the future now, and now you're still going to build around the asset that you drafted. Fine, I'm okay with that. You got to protect them. How many sacks? How many times did they get sacked this year?
58.
58 times. That's still not good enough.
No.
All right, 9 different combinations on the offensive line, still not good enough.
Right.
9 different combinations throughout the entire year. It still sucks.
Yeah.
That being said, when we get to this draft here, if they draft one offensive lineman,
you said this 2 weeks ago. Too.
If they draft one offensive lineman, I am gonna go fucking bananas. And I will go bananas because you have. Go ahead.
You want them to spend their money.
Yes.
Because they have more than $110 million.
$124 million.
Okay.
All right. And there are some big name free agents on that offensive line. Some big, beefy, corn-fed fat boys that you can get on in free agency this year to protect Justin Fields, to protect whatever running back that you have back there, to give Justin Fields the time to go out there. Now, I don't want to see him draft one because it's unproven in this game.
Yeah.
They may be proven at Michigan. They may be proven at North Dakota State or at Ohio State or wherever they're at. Give me the guy that's proven in the NFL. I want to pay for that.
Do you know Braxton Jones, the rookie drafted in the 5th round, was the only Bear player to play every play?
I like Braxton Jones.
Every offensive play. So you know what? That's a great thing. They found a guy in the 5th round that they can use.
Yes.
And here he is.
And
he'll be on the left side. They had Larry Borum playing the right guard.
He's always
because everybody kept getting hurt. Riley Reif had a long day yesterday because he was trying to shut down what's his name? Daniil
Harry?
Daniil Hunter.
Daniil Hunter.
Yeah, the pass rusher from Minnesota. But you didn't hear Daniil Hunter's name all that much, okay? So that wasn't all that bad. But they got to figure things out. They went out and grabbed Riley Reif. They thought that was going to help. They had
the kid from Green Bay.
They had Tevin Jenkins. Yeah, they had the guy from Green Bay who was a center. He was hurt at the start. He was hurt later on. So they struggled there. And one of the things, we talked about the defense and the offensive line. They had 130.5 passing yards per game. That was last in the NFL. But that's not where it stops. There's been just 11 teams in 25 years that have averaged less than 140 yards passing in a season. And the Bears are one of them. 11 teams in 25 years. Just think about that. Think about how
I
bad
couldn't even
that
tell
is.
you who they are.
Huh?
Do you have them written down?
No. I just got 11 teams.
Yeah.
I don't want to know who they are. They've got to be awful. Some really, really, really bad teams. So I believe that Justin Fields is the guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I think he'll throw the ball more when he has more weapons. He'll throw the ball more when he has receivers. He has an offensive line. He has some running
when he has
backs.
more time.
Exactly. When he has more time.
We didn't. Let's say I'm not trying to cut you out, but we look at his body of work at Ohio State.
I was just going to say that. Go ahead.
He was not a running quarterback.
Nope.
He was a pocket present quarterback sitting back there waiting for Chris Olave to get open.
Yeah.
Waiting for the kid. Who's the other receiver that he had? That was Garrett Wilson.
Oh, the kid that's on the Jets.
The kid that's on the Jets. Yeah. Waiting for Garrett Wilson and waiting for Chris Olave to get open. He had plenty of time to throw the ball around then.
Yep.
And he's airing out pigskin all over Ohio State. Give the kid some time.
Yeah.
Ohio State is a program. The Big Ten is a program, the entirety of the Big Ten, where that's where you find a majority of your offensive linemen. Between Northwestern,
Sure.
Ohio State,
Years ago,
Michigan, Iowa.
Years ago, when I was a kid growing up, it was always Nebraska, Oklahoma. That's where
Nebraska.
It's always Nebraska.
Nebraska, Oklahoma, Penn State,
Yeah.
Rutgers. You find a bunch of big body guys.
Those big corn-fed guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you need. Now, one thing I wanted to touch base on with Braxton Jones. It's about time that the Bears actually found a guy late in the draft.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you said he was a fifth round pick.
Yeah.
All right. You look at offensive linemen all over the place, all over the last 7 years of the draft classes.
Right.
You see Pro Bowlers in that position.
Sure.
And they're offensive linemen. It's about time that the Bears finally hit on one.
Yeah.
It's about time. Braxton Jones, I think, is a solid piece for this line next year. Cody Whitehair getting a little long in the tooth, coming a little more injury prone. Still could be that guy, but you still need 3 offensive linemen.
They need a center. They need to find a center. Maybe
Sam Mustafa's ass.
Maybe the best center available in free agency. Don't know who that is. I'm sure we'll do some shows later on as we get nearer the draft. We'll talk more about that. But I want to ask you a couple questions about a couple of guys.
Yep.
Your guy, Cole Kmet, scored again.
Yep.
Okay, caught a couple passes, scored again. Yep. Have you bought in yet?
Nope.
It was funny. I was listening to someone. It was Tom Waddle, Tommy Waddle on ESPN 1000, and he was talking about Cole Kmet as a tight end. He said, listen, Cole Kmet does a lot of good things, but if you're trying to compare Cole Kmet to George Kittle or Travis Kelce or Darren Waller, any of these guys, it doesn't fit. He's a different kind of guy. He's not in that group, okay? But we did see that he's a guy that Justin Fields can go to. He's a guy that they can go to. He's learned to catch the ball. He's learned to catch the ball and run with it, which is a good thing. And I think he's here for the long term. He's going to be here for a while. And I think they have a guy that, and I like some of their other guys, the Ryan Griffin guy, who they just have.
He's okay.
He may be gone. He's, something else, but that's a position now that's a huge position in the NFL nowadays. With wide receivers, your tight end's got to be able to catch the ball and help the quarterback out. And Cole Kmet's been able to do that, especially the second half of the season.
Is Cole Kmet serviceable at tight end? Yes. Yes, he is. But the hype around Cole Kmet coming out of Notre Dame was so high.
Yeah.
Because he's a Notre Dame guy and we're 90 miles away from Notre Dame or whatever it is.
Right.
Okay. I'm tired. Stop drafting Notre Dame.
And we're even closer to where he played ball. It's in Viator.
Yeah. Yeah. Stop drafting Notre Dame players because the only thing that's worth out of Notre Dame is offensive line. All right. But anyways, you're right. He's not George Kittle. He's not Travis Kelce. He's not Darren Waller. But the hype that was around him was a player along the lines. They sold him like a bag of goods as somebody like
Kittle and Kelce
of that. Yeah. What I want, and that's fine. If this is the Cole Kmet that we're going to get, give me Jason Witten.
Yeah.
Give me Heath Miller.
Right. Oh my God, Heath Miller was awesome.
All right, give me those 2 guys.
People forget about.
I don't want him to be Tony Gonzalez.
No.
I don't want him to be. Give me L.J. Crumpler.
I'd like him to be Mark Andrews.
Give me Bubba Watson.
Okay.
Or not Bubba Watson.
No.
Ben Watson.
Yeah.
Give me that type of player. If you're going to be that player, then be that player and own it.
Yeah.
Don't try and be something you're not.
You're not.
You can block. He can block. But what's wrong with? Be Dalton Schultz. That's what I want.
How about Knox?
Be Dawson Knox.
Dawson Knox is amazing. He's a guy you don't hear his name much except for touchdowns and key third down catches.
Right.
Dawson Knox is great. Here, Cole Kmet led the team in receptions this year.
65.
No, 50.
Oh, okay.
50. Darnell Mooney had 40, and he didn't play quite a few games.
Yeah.
So Cole Kmet, 50 catches, 544 yards, 10.9 yards per catch, along a 50, and 7 touchdowns. Only one player had more touchdowns. That was Justin Fields, who had 8. Okay. Montgomery had, Montgomery had 5 rushing, 1 receiving. Pringle had 2, and you had Herbert with 4. That was it. This Bears team did not score enough points this year, and that's a shame. And look at some of the guys on this list. Amir Smith-Marset, Simba Webster, Trevin Wesco, Darrington Evans. And Velus Jones is the other guy I wanted to bring up.
I hate his guts.
Did you see what he did yesterday? He's a third-round pick. He's a guy that is learning. I know he's an older guy, but maybe it took him a while to learn.
30 years old.
No, I think he's 25. But he had a nice run, stayed in bounds. That was nice. He's also returned some nice kicks over the last couple of weeks. I think Velus Jones is a set. My sister likes Komet. She's watching. See, Colette likes Komet.
Because their names sound alike. Colette, Komet.
Colette, Komet, they do. Definitely sound alike. We come back, we'll talk a little bit more about what things that happened yesterday in the NFL. We'll talk about the draft as the Bears have the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. I'll pop my beer that I got sitting here. It's a really good one. We'll talk about that when we come back. You're watching Huebs Views and Brews on 1252 Sports. Fred and Fat Mike back after this.
Stagecoach in Lockport has a unique menu from fresh salads and burgers to venison and steak sandwiches. We feature plenty of appetizers and desserts for a perfect way to start or end your meal. Come into our country western bar and dining room or relax outside on our patio sitting in the heart of downtown Lockport on State Street. We can accommodate both small gatherings and large parties. Offering 16 different beers on tap, frozen margaritas, an extensive bourbon and whiskey menu, and our famous Bloody Marys. You cannot go wrong at Stagecoach. And if you're feeling lucky, come try DJ Bingo on Tuesdays or our Big Pay slot machines all week. Stagecoach is located at 1028 South State Street in Lockport, Illinois. Everyone is a friend at Stagecoach. Hope to see y'all soon.
Hi, this is Kathy O'Connell at Coach's Corner, located at 8118 West 143rd Street in Orland Park. Our phone number is 708-364-1026. We are Orland Park's #1 sports bar. Come in for our wonderful beer menu and seltzers with a fully stocked bar. Watch a game, drink a beer, and try something off our amazing menu. We have everything to choose from: nachos, potato skins, and our house-made bar chips to start off with. Then try our tacos, burgers, and one of our delicious sandwiches. And don't leave without trying our famous jumbo wings. They do not disappoint. Coach's Corner. It will sure to become your local bar. Again, we are located at 8118 West 143rd Street in Orland Park. Come see us today.
Hello, this is Paul from Nick and Ivy Brewing Company. We are located at 1026 South State Street in historic downtown Lockport, Illinois. We are very excited to be partnering up with the FatMike ChicagoSports Show as well as the 1252 brand because we are one of the few Chicagoland breweries that embrace sports and sports culture. Come in for a fresh brewed beer made right here in Lockport while catching the game of your favorite team. Stay for the live music that we have booked every weekend. Or just come for a cozy atmosphere to enjoy a good conversation with a friend, loved one, or complete stranger. Nick and Ivy makes you feel right at home no matter what the occasion is. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook by searching for Nick and Ivy Brewing Company. Visit our website for our up-to-date tap list or to go shopping on our online store at nickivybrewing.com. That's NIKIVY brewing.com. Come in today for fresh brewed beer born and raised in Lockport, Illinois.
Well, we're back. Mike's coughing, talking about his chicken noodle soup that his lovely wife Megan made. And I'm going to tell you, we're going to Nick and Ivy. You just saw a Nick and Ivy commercial. Going on over. I'm not a big. I don't really care much about the college championship game, TCU Georgia. But we're going to go watch it when we leave here. And but I'm drinking a double blazed orange. If you're a beer fan, a craft beer fan, Hop Butcher makes some great beers. We had Jude on from Hop Butcher a while ago. They've taken over one of Half Acre spots in the city and are cranking beers out. This double blazed is a orange and vanilla IPA. I'm sorry, a double IPA. Let's read it. Citra and Strata hopped milkshake double IPA brewed with oranges and vanilla.
I bet you that's delicious. I bet you it tastes like a creamsicle.
Yeah, I'm going to let you have some because it's unbelievably good. When this comes out a couple times a year,
leave a little in the
can. I'm going to leave some in the can. And so when this comes out a couple times a year, people go crazy over this stuff. Okay? It's really, really good. They make a blazed orange. This is a double blazed
milkshake double IPA.
Yeah, the milkshake it means you can't see through it.
Yeah, it's a thicker beer.
Yeah, it's a little bit thicker. 9.5 alcohol by volume. It's really, really tasty. Yeah, it's really, really tasty. Maybe we can get some for Saturday. A couple people are coming over to the humble abode to watch football. Yeah, to watch football on Saturday. To watch the Niners and Seahawks and also Jaguars and the Chargers. But I'll see if we can find some more.
That's delicious.
The guys over at the Open Bottle in Lockport. I think maybe we can find some over there.
All right. Open Bottle. You better have it. Get it. If you don't got it. That is delicious.
It's so good.
And it's a stronger beer. Sweet Pete.
Oh, yeah. 9.5.
9.5.
But it's sweet. Balls. It's sweet enough. And if you're afraid to try some stuff because you're not sure how it's going to taste, you don't taste the hops in this. You taste the orange and the vanilla. And it's not quite like a dreamsicle, but it's really, really good.
I could have about 30 to 40 of these.
And then they would just take you out feet first.
Yeah.
So anyway, David Montgomery, one more thing about the Bears. David Montgomery went over to midfield after the game was over, took some pictures of the stadium and all that stuff. David Montgomery's a really good running back.
Yes.
He can catch the ball, something that Khalil Herbert showed he couldn't really do real well.
He is a very versatile running back, yes.
He's not a guy you're going to pay a lot of money to.
No.
But I don't think anybody in the NFL, slowly but surely, they're learning. You can find running backs everywhere. If you don't draft them, you can find them somewhere. Do you think that there's any possibility that David Montgomery is still here next year?
I mean, I think there's a small possibility if David Montgomery is willing to take a bite on the bullet and accept a lower pay grade. I mean, he's not gonna get Zeke type money. He's not going to get Saquon type money. He's not going to get Christian McCaffrey type money. Not Derrick Henry type money.
No.
What David Montgomery is he's David Montgomery. He's a middle of the pack, middle of the road running back. He'll get you 1,000 yards. He'll get you anywhere between 5 and 8 touchdowns a year.
Yeah.
He's not going to blow up the stat sheet every single week. He's a guy.
Well,
what it boils down to is that David Montgomery is a guy. As much as I love him being a Bear fan, as much as I love his versatileness and stuff like that out of the backfield, David Montgomery is a very easily replaced running back.
You mentioned Ezekiel Elliott. Well, don't you wish that Jerry Jones knew how good Tony Pollard
was? Oh, my God, yeah.
Because there's no reason to have both of them.
What you wanted to ask is, do you think that Jerry Jones wishes he knew how good Tony Pollard was going to be? Yes. Yeah. Yes, because Tony Pollard is slowly starting to steal that job away from Ezekiel Elliott. Mm-hmm. And every single Sunday that Tony Pollard goes out there and shines, Jerry Jones is kicking himself in the dick.
Sure.
Why did I pay Ezekiel Elliott
all this money?
It's exactly what it is. Yeah. Now, there are guys out there. Christian McCaffrey has been a difference maker.
He's a different kind
of guy. He's unbelievable. Yeah. All right. He changes a game.
But he's been hurt 2 of the last 3 years.
He has been. This year, he's been healthy.
Yeah.
Gets traded to your San Francisco 49ers. I don't think you're in the position of where you're at right now without Christian McCaffrey.
No, but then now they have Elijah Mitchell back, and they have
Right.
this other kid Mason
So
back.
yeah, that's
all
great.
kinds of
That's
guys.
great. That's more fluidness throughout the backfield.
Right.
You don't have to give that beating to Christian McCaffrey
Right,
for 30 carries a game.
right, which is what he was getting
Right.
in Carolina.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Guys like that kid up there in New York Giants. Saquon Barkley.
Yeah,
All right. Saquon Barkley got the shit kicked out of him for a couple of years
Yep.
up there. Got beat up a little bit, came back healthy this year, and shined. He is the main reason that the Giants are in the playoffs this year.
yeah,
Without Saquon Barkley, he is a difference maker.
Yep.
All right. Guys like Derrick Henry, as bad as that team stinks. That team stinks. The Tennessee Titans
yeah. They're not
stink.
good.
They stink. Great year this year out of
Well,
Derrick
it's tough
Henry.
too when you lose your quarterback. And I know.
I mean, come on. Ryan Tannehill is not a good quarterback.
No, but he's played well over the last year or two. I mean, you would rather have had him this past weekend against Jacksonville than the guy you had.
Well, yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
You know, everybody wants their starter over their backup, of
Sure.
course.
So
But I mean, they were seriously starting. Okay, they took off the Lions practice squad. This goes to show how much they believe in Malik Willis
I know.
out of Liberty.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, it's one of those things. You know, there are those guys that go out there and make a big difference,
But there are very few.
Very few.
And Carmen and Yurko have been talking about this for years.
and they're right.
They're exactly right. You don't spend the money. You don't spend a high
No.
draft pick on a running back. You can always find a running back somewhere. There are 2 or 3 guys over 3 or 4 years that are difference makers and stick around for a long time. But look at that. We talked about all these guys, and they've all been injured. Ezekiel Elliott injured. Saquon Barkley injured. You know, all
Christian
these guys.
McCaffrey injured.
McCaffrey injured.
The only one who's been pretty resilient is Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry. Yeah. The guy's a monster.
Well, he's a fucking linebacker
He's a
playing
monster,
running back.
And
Yeah.
then they direct snap him, and he's thrown passes
Right.
for near the goal line. So
I guarantee you somebody will be stupid this year in this upcoming year's draft, late first round, early second round, to take that running back out of Texas. Who's
Okay,
been
I don't know who you're talking about.
Bajan Thomas,
Okay.
Bajan Johnson. He's a stud, but I mean,
Okay.
it's
there's a lot of them.
Right.
You'll find them everywhere. Running backs in the NFL are everywhere. You can find a guy. You can find an unsigned or undrafted free agent. That's what Ryan Poles has to do.
well. I mean, you
find
look
guys
at
like that.
and Fred. You look at some of these teams.
Well,
Right?
and they drafted Ebner last year from
Right.
Baylor. He didn't get much of a
Right.
chance. They still have Khalil Herbert.
They still have Khalil Herbert,
Yeah.
but you look at teams all around the league. You look at the Jacksonville Jaguars. They go out and draft Etienne, right?
Yeah.
James Robinson, 2 back-to-back 1,000-yard rushing seasons for him.
Yeah.
Where's he at now? All right, you go down there. Who's the
Well, look at Detroit.
Detroit?
Detroit's got Swift.
Jamal Williams and
Jamal
DeAndre
Williams,
Swift.
Jamal Williams just broke Barry Sanders' record for touchdowns in the
Ridiculous.
season. Okay.
Right.
Jamal Williams, the guy that spent his first 4 years with the Packers,
Mhm.
and now he's in Detroit, and he's unbelievable. And
Killing it.
Yeah, it was great to have in fantasy.
And look at like somebody like I call him Mr. Migraine because the fucking guy's always complaining about something. But Joe Mixon,
Yeah,
Perrine,
yeah,
filled in a couple games this year.
great.
Did just as good as Joe Mixon
Yeah.
did.
Happens a lot.
And now you look at this 2-headed monster that Buffalo has. I mean, like I said, guys, what we're trying to get to is the running backs are a dime a dozen.
Well, and you mentioned the Buffalo, and I was watching the NFL Live today, and they were concerned about Buffalo. I think they only had 13 or 15 rushing attempts yesterday. And they said that's what they think is going to come back and bite them.
Yeah.
Because they don't run the ball enough.
No.
They're always dropping back. They're always throwing the ball. They run the ball with Josh Allen a little bit. I'm eager to see their game. They play this. They don't play. No, they do play this.
They
weekend.
play Sunday.
They play Miami.
Yep.
And I'm not sure what Miami's doing. Is Tua going to be healthy?
I think Tua's done for his career.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people do. Everybody had 3 concussions this year.
3 concussions in 6 games.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Before we talk about some Bears and draft stuff, 2 things I want to get to. Kudos to Lovie Smith.
Oh,
Lovie Smith knew he was not coming back.
round of applause for Mr. Graybeard, Lovie Smith.
Lovie Smith knew he was not coming back. So what's he do? He said, okay. And when they tie the game, or when they pull within 1 point, when they score, he goes, I'm going to go for 2.
Hell yeah.
And he goes for 2 and wins the game.
Baller.
Okay. And, the quarterback there knew
Davis
that
Mills.
he was probably not going to be back. And that was awesome. That gets the Bears a pick. The last minutes of that game were unbelievable. Cliff Kingsbury gone. It shows you what happens when you have a quarterback that's healthy all year long and can run all over the place and do a lot of things. And you have guys that are there. Hopkins missed, the first 6 games because of his problems.
Zach Ertz down from week 6 on.
Exactly. Your running game wasn't as good as it could be. So head coaches are only as good as your talent, okay? For years, I think Belichick has showed that good coaches can make average talent really good.
Yes.
But he's the one guy. Doesn't happen very often.
No, including
you need talent.
Cliff Kingsbury kind of got the raw end of the deal this year.
Well, he also signed a contract before the season where he's paid through 2027.
Right. That was like 10 months ago or something like that. Right. Kyler Murray going out, DeAndre Hopkins half the year with the PED stuff. Zach Ertz going down for the majority of the year. He went down in week 6.
Yes, and Watt was out for a long time. The list goes on and on and on with that team. But Cliff Kingsbury, though, was the stud coach of the first half. Like I could pull it up, but I'm not going to. He has a very good first half record throughout his tenure down there in Arizona. The problem with him is that the second half, he's awful. Yeah.
He's awful as a head coach. And I get it because you have those guys down there that get hurt. You have AJ Green, who got hurt last year and the year before. You have DeAndre Hopkins, who was dinged up and messed up. But then again, I don't know.
Everybody.
I think he got a job strictly because of Patrick Mahomes, to be honest.
Yeah,
if you want
injuries
to talk
kill
about
you.
Yeah.
Okay, injuries kill you. The Bears had a ton of injuries this year, and people always say, "Well, you got to have the guy next man up." That's fine, but that doesn't always work. Teams that are good don't have tons of injuries. Now, someone's going to watch this and say, "Hey, well, how about this team? How about this?" Yeah, that happens once in a while. Usually, if teams have a lot of injuries, they're not sticking around. And the other thing goes out. We talked about this guy before the season started because we love watching Hard Knocks. But Dan Campbell and that Detroit coaching staff, if they don't all get raises after yesterday, something's wrong. Okay, here's a team that was miserable to start the season. They won 8 of their last 10 games.
Yes.
Yesterday, they're on the field warming up for the game with the Green Bay Packers, and they're watching on the Jumbotron as the Seattle Seahawks win a game in overtime. Okay, by Seattle winning that game, Detroit knows they cannot go to the playoffs. They can be bummed. They can be disappointed. They can be really pissed off. What do? They go out and beat the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau 20-16. Okay, this is a defense that was one of the worst defenses in the NFL. I don't know how, because they've got a lot of weapons. They just don't put them all together. And they shut down Aaron Rodgers. They win the game. And Dan Campbell and some of the calls they made late in that game, there's a penalty called which would still make it a first down. And instead of 2nd and 1, it would have been a first down. And they said, no, we're going to decline that penalty because we're going to get the first down, continue to run the clock late in the game. And the broadcasters, Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth, are going,
what are they doing?
They go, what are they doing? And then they thought about it and they go,
oh,
that's amazing. That's a tremendous call. Dan Campbell,
yes,
Aaron Glenn, all those guys. That was, if you didn't get a chance to watch Hard Knocks in Detroit, oh my God.
Yeah.
It was so good. And this team has some defensive weapons. They have Hutchinson's unbelievable.
Jeffrey Okudah.
I mean, Okudah didn't even play yesterday.
Right.
The kid that did play was a rookie out of Illinois, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's the 3rd time this year he's picked off Aaron Rodgers. And I don't know. If you're a Lions, the Bears are going to have to contend with the Lions for decades. People have said the Lions are going to be better. I've said the Lions will never win. I got to pull back on that. I got to pull back on that now because the Lions finished the season 9-8. Okay, the Lions finished 9-8. They just missed the playoffs because of all the other things that happened. Seattle makes the playoffs at 9-8 and things like that. I got all my standings here somewhere. Of course, there's the last page. So Detroit's 9-8, Green Bay 8-9, Seattle's 9-8. You've got the Giants who are in the playoffs at 9-7-1. Tampa Bay's in the playoffs at 8-9. Unbelievable. Pittsburgh just missed out. The Chargers are just barely in. Jacksonville's 9-8, I said. Miami in the playoffs, 9-8. So the Detroit Lions played really good football this year.
The Detroit Lions
twice.
had the same record as 4 playoff teams.
Yeah.
All right, and like I said at the beginning of the year, everybody sat there and laughed at me. I'm like, watch out for this guy. Watch out for this team. I said it from the get-go. Watch out for this team.
Well, because you like Dan Campbell and all of his
I do like
crazy
Dan
stuff.
Campbell.
Aaron Glenn yesterday, when they made a stop, Aaron Glenn's dancing down the sidelines going, first down, going the other way. And it was amazing. And Aaron Glenn was a great player to watch in the secondary, played for the Jets and a couple other teams. It was so much fun to watch. But the Lions are going to be a good team going forward.
They're going to be a very good team.
And the thing I wanted to mention, I mentioned it to Mike before we started the show, is last year, Jacksonville and Detroit both won 3 games.
Yep.
This year, both teams won 9 games. You can improve that much over the course of a year. And we're expecting to see with the Matt Eberflus coach team, Ryan Poles, what he's going to go out and get. And now I'm going to let Mike go off a little bit on all of his trade scenarios because it boggles my mind. It just happened. Season just ended yesterday, but there's people everywhere going over what the Bears can do with the number 1 pick. My opinion, the last thing you do is use it.
Yeah, I don't want the Bears to
You
use that.
can't use the number 1 pick.
No.
You cannot take the number 1 pick and draft a player.
No.
You need more than that. You need more than one guy.
It's about time now. It's been a long time coming. You and I have known each other, what now, 3-4 years?
Yeah.
All right, I've been calling into your show.
Yeah.
Being a jerk.
Back in the day.
You and I, I used to call in.
No, you're never a
mode.
jerk. You would just give me Letterkenny quotes.
Pitter patter. Let's get at it.
That's right.
By the way, Letterkenny, new season. Oh no,
I gotta catch up. I'm on like season 3, and they're on season 9 or something like that. They just keep
you better hurry up.
Those guys are hilarious.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different things the Bears can do with this number 1 pick. If you go through the top, I know the top 18 are solidified right now as it sits.
Yeah.
So the top 18, Bears number 1, 2 Texans, 3 Cardinals, 4 Colts, 5 Seahawks. Let's stop there for a second.
Okay.
Of those top 5 teams, who needs a quarterback? Texans need a quarterback. They got the number 2 pick.
Yep.
They will land one of the 2 quarterbacks. Cardinals, do they move on from Kyler Murray? I don't think so after now firing Cliff Kingsbury.
No.
The Colts need a quarterback. That's been the biggest downfall of the Colts going forward the last couple of years. They went out and got
Ryan wasn't the answer.
Matt Ryan,
Ice,
Phillip
Matty
Rivers.
Ice is not the answer. Yeah.
Matt Ryan, Phillip Rivers, and Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Those 3 guys are not the answer. The Seahawks is an intriguing one, though, at 5.
Yeah, because Geno Smith came out of nowhere.
Geno
He was
Smith
a
came out of
filler.
nowhere.
He was a space
Now,
filler.
Is Geno Smith the guy that's under the tutelage of Pete Carroll, and Pete Carroll knows how to coach that type of mobile and also type of split type of quarterback where it's Russell Wilson can run, can also throw the ball, or is Geno Smith just Geno Smith? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it one of those type of things? You can trade one of these. You can trade that number 1 pick and get a haul back from 4 or 5. I mean, I seriously think you can get a haul back from 4 or 5. The Seahawks have not only the 5th pick, but also the 20th pick in this as well.
Okay.
All right, you can possibly get the 5th, and the 20th pick. Get your defensive end, get your defensive lineman, get whatever you need to get, and go and grab your wide receiver at 20.
Yeah.
Okay,
That'd be awesome.
The wide receiver that you need. There's guys out there. You got
Not an offensive lineman because Mike will go nuts.
I will fucking flip the gasket. I swear to God.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of wide receivers out there. You get the kid out there from USC. You get a kid out there from TCU who's going to be drafted in the top 10. Quentin Johnson is his name.
He's probably caught 3 touchdown passes already.
He's unbelievable. Yeah,
Yeah.
Quentin Johnson is the real deal. You get the kid out there from there's a bunch of, I mean, literally.
Wide receivers are everywhere.
Wide receivers are everywhere, and you
Except
need
in a
one.
Bears uniform.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you need one.
Yeah.
But if you look at the top 10 alone, or look at the top 11, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams in the top 11 that need a quarterback.
Well, you got Panthers.
You have the Texans need a quarterback.
Right.
Colts need a quarterback.
Seahawks maybe.
Possibly. Raiders Derek Carr. What is it? Derek? Which one is he?
This is Derek.
All right, he's leaving.
They told him not to even dress.
Right. Yeah, he's gone. Falcons need a quarterback.
Ritter played well.
They need a quarterback.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Sam Darnold looked like fucking ass
Panthers,
cheeks yesterday.
yeah.
They need a quarterback, and the Titans need a quarterback. So you literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of the top 11 teams can give you something in return for that number 1 pick.
So in Ryan Pohl's office, he's got a little sign by his door that says "Open for Business," and he's waiting for calls from all these guys.
He better
be. Yeah, exactly. Because the last thing you can do is use the number 1 pick and take a player. I'm sorry, you don't need one player. You need multiple players on this team. One player is not going to help you.
Well, I mean, hell, I said it weeks ago. I mean, this is we're talking 8-9 weeks ago, where the Bears were sitting at like the 5th, 6th pick. You better trade that pick and go get something that you need.
Always,
you know what I mean. You got to trade it to somebody because there are some hot commodities in this draft. Yes, as much as I want Will Anderson Jr., as much as I like that Jalen, what's his face out of Georgia. I'm okay if I don't get those guys.
Right.
Give me that wide receiver out of TCU who's 6'4", who runs a 4.3, and who's, is 215 pounds. Give me that kid at pick 9. As you take the Panthers pick this year, their second this year, their first next year, and their first year after that, you don't have to give anything up away.
We see what number 1 receivers do. We see what top receivers can do in this league. A lot of people had talked earlier this year, last week or two, about the Bears making a move with the Raiders, and involved in that deal being Davante Adams. And people said, well, do you make that deal? And a lot of people, you make the deal. If you can get Davante Adams, you make the deal. And you trade down, you give them the first pick, you get the 7 and Davante Adams.
I'm cool with that. I think it has to be a little more sweeter than that.
I know. Make picks
honestly,
later on.
I think for me, yes. Okay, is that a good deal? You trade the number 1 pick to the Raiders, who they are at 7 right now.
Right.
They need a quarterback. You give me Davante Adams in the 7th overall pick. Give me your first for next year too.
Oh, they got another pick later in the draft, right? Is that, that's Ravens.
No,
that's Ravens.
I'm sorry. Give me your first for next year too.
Writing. Yeah.
Give me your first for next year too.
Okay.
And then I'm okay. I'm all in on that deal. All right. Davante Adams, as awesome as he is, I mean, he's unbelievable.
He loves Taco Bell. He loves Taco Bell, so that's a big plus.
But I mean, the Bears have ample opportunity right now. They hold the King's ransom with number 1 and $124 million in cap. It's amazing. They have to do something. And I'm going to be breaking it down over here the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, we'll be doing. It'll be all kinds of fun over the next couple of weeks. See how things are going. We'll talk playoff. We're not sure what next Monday's show going to be like because there's a playoff game on Super Wildcard Weekend. There's a game next Monday night, so stick with us on Facebook and let us know. We'll let you know what's going on.
Really quick, side note, cut.
Yeah.
Saturday we're getting together.
Yeah.
So we have no shows on Saturday.
No.
Why don't I bring over the equipment and we do a show live from Freddie's basement on Saturday?
Oh, that could be scary. At the end of the day? At
the
end of the 2 games?
Before.
Well, that won't help.
Games
break won't it down. Be played yet.
We break down the games.
That's what we're doing right now. We're going to talk about the games.
Yeah.
We'll see. You never know.
Or we can get all hammered and talk about it afterwards.
That might be even a better idea. Yeah.
As long as you got to wear the helmet.
No, the helmet's not fitting. My head's gotten bigger over the last year.
Where is it? Let me pull it up.
So anyway, Super Wildcard Weekend. You know what? We come back. We'll talk Super Wildcard Weekend. I only got like 3 things on beer. There it is. That was me last year on Wildcard Weekend at my house. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good photo.
My ear still hurts because of that picture. It does. We come back. We'll run a few of our sponsors, and we come back. We'll talk a couple of the games coming up this weekend, Super Wildcard Weekend. We'll also talk a little beer. There's like 3 or 4 things, including Nick and Ivy. He's got a beer coming out later on this week. We'll talk about that and much more. It's Fat Mike, Fred Huebner here, Huebs Views and Brews on 1252.
Aussie football, are you ready, brother? Real football action on a glossy game surface played shuffle style. Slide a shuffle puck at pass or run targets, and a free mobile app keeps track of every game detail. Easy to learn, but this game of skill is difficult to master. Take care of the ball, or turnovers will kill your drive. The game is guaranteed to get your competitive fire burning, and it's perfectly sized to take anywhere. The park, a barbecue, your next tailgate, or fun at home on game nights. Aussie football is simply the best, most realistic and competitive game of football available anywhere. Add defense when your skill improves and take the game to the next level. The perfect mix of fast action and real football drama, where a last-second Hail Mary can break hearts or make champions.
Megaplex Sports Complex is a 78,000 square foot center filled with hardwood and turf. They have baseball rentals with batting cages, softball, soccer, lacrosse, gymnastics, cheerleading, cornhole, basketball, volleyball, and pickleball. It also features a bar and grill with the best pizza and beef sandwiches around. They cater to events such as birthdays, graduations, corporate parties, as well as memorabilia shows. Check them out at Megaplex Sports Complex, 15301 South Bell Road in Homer Glen, 708-966-4210.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Darren, licensed real estate broker with Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group in Homer Glen. Are you looking to buy or sell? Have you been disappointed in the past? The Jonathan Darren team with Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group focuses on providing you with a concierge level of service during the process of buying or selling. We are a service-oriented team with a fresh and professional approach to selling real estate. Our goal is to combine knowledge, skills, and passion to exceed our clients' expectations, and most of all, we truly care. We are a knowledgeable real estate team focused on offering expertise and innovative solutions for our clients. The Jonathan Darren team has 5 full-service real estate brokers and a dedicated full-time marketer servicing all of Chicagoland. We will customize a detailed plan around your timeline for a sale, purchase, investment, estate, or other needs. Real estate transactions can be stressful, but don't need to be. Let us handle it for you. Visit our website, homesbyjdt.com, or call 708-308-1938 today. Expect better in real estate. Choose the Jonathan Darren team.
Welcome back in, Huebs Views and Brews. Mike had to take a run. He'll be back. And when I say run, I mean it, I don't mean it literally. He's not running anywhere. I don't know if you saw my shirt. This is a shirt I've had for a while. Dream American, eat Italian, kiss French, dance Latin, but drink German. And my girlfriend Linda, I put the shirt on. She goes, I haven't seen that one before. I got so many shirts. I can actually dress the entire South Side. Everybody could have a shirt. I have that many shirts. I have drawers filled with shirts that I haven't worn. It's crazy. My sisters, my brothers are helping me set up my house for an estate sale. It's crazy. But yeah, it's one of the shirts I haven't worn here before. Mike is back.
I am back.
And we're going to talk some of the playoff games this weekend. Okay, the Eagles and the Chiefs get a bye because they're the number 1 seeds, which I don't know is necessarily correct because of the DeMar Hamlin situation. Buffalo,
Well, no, I
had
mean,
no
it
chance.
actually, I heard a thing where it's, I read this whole entire thing where it's actually, it is right. It is right. Yes.
Okay, but they're going to flip coins so that if it is the Ravens and Chiefs or Bills and Chiefs, they're going to flip a coin, right? They're not going to play at Arrowhead because Buffalo and Cincinnati both had a chance.
And it's between Buffalo and the Chiefs. Bengals are out of it now.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
It's between the Buffalo and Chiefs right now.
Okay.
So, yes.
Well, Buffalo opens the playoffs against Dolphins. But let's start with game 1.
Yeah.
And I think the spread was already 12. Niners are at home against Santa Clara. They play Seattle. Geno Smith. And the one thing you worry about is pass interference calls against the big guy Okay, he's huge.
Yeah.
Metcalf.
DK Metcalf.
Oh
yeah.
my God! Between him and also who's the other guy that always catches passes? Tyler Lockett. It's amazing. These are two of the better receivers in all of the NFL on one team. Okay, they're great. That's the first game of the day on Saturday. The second game is the Chargers against Jacksonville.
I'm pumped for that game.
The Chargers are a weird team because guys are always hurt. They played Mike Williams got hurt the other day. He got hurt yesterday. They brought him out to the into the locker room. I love what Herbert does. I love Eckler. Eckler's amazing. Their defense, they got Khalil Mack.
James, Khalil Mack,
it's
Bosa.
Amazing. Bosa, they got a great defense. They should be better than they are.
The problem with the Chargers is that their defense has those star-studded names on them, but those star-studded names are never fucking healthy. That's the problem with that defense.
Yeah.
They're never healthy.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert this year lasted how many weeks without Keenan Allen?
I know. And he caught, 2 touchdowns yesterday.
And then Mike Williams.
Yeah, he was hurt all year long.
Hurt again all year long. Comes in there and then hurts himself again yesterday.
You know what this is? I don't know if you know what this is.
What is that?
It's a newspaper.
Oh.
Yeah, I got it. I went to visit Linda's mom today, and she had a Tribune, and I said, you know what, I want to borrow that. She goes, you can have it. I was going to throw it away. So I wanted to see, because the Chargers yesterday, okay, you had Allen, 8 catches for 102 yards. When he's there, he's amazing.
Yes.
And he had 2 touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken. One late and one earlier. Yeah, the first one and the last one of the game. They lose to Denver, 31-28. It was nice to see Russell Wilson step up.
I don't care. Denver blows.
Russell Wilson takes a lot of crap, but I like him.
Let's ride.
He's a good guy.
Let's ride. Denver Broncos, let's ride.
Yeah, he always say, go Seahawks. Or what did he say at the very end of all his interviews? He always say something like, go Hawks. Or
yeah, right now it's let's ride.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is.
Yeah, he's good.
He's
I like
creepy.
him. So then
He seems so fake.
Those are the 2 games on Saturday. He's not. He's a good guy. 3 on Sunday, which will be nice because after Mike comes over on Saturday, I'm
sleep over on Saturday.
I'm going to need to recover on Sunday. The first game is Miami and Buffalo. Now, Miami, they were all over it. They got the guy from San Francisco. He came in. He brought Mostert and a lot of other guys. They had Tua. They were throwing the ball all over the place. They had Hill, Waddle. They're catching the ball everywhere. It slowed down a little bit, but they're in the playoffs. This is the 7th seed, the last seed to get in, and Buffalo plays them in Buffalo. Who knows what the weather will be like? We here in Lockport, Chicago, whatever you want, we've missed all the bad stuff.
Yes, we have.
We've had like 4 inches of snow so far this year, and it's amazing. And but Buffalo's gotten a lot. We'll see what happens. How do you go against Buffalo? You can't. Not with all their weapons. Minnesota hosts the Giants.
That's going to be a good game.
You think?
I do.
It could be.
I'm taking the Giants in this game.
Minnesota at home is a team that should be able to run it up. Dalvin Cook got hurt a little bit against the Bears. He went out, came back in. They didn't use Jefferson much at all. They've got so many weapons. I'm sitting there. You've got Jefferson. You've got Thielen. You had Osborne. Now Irv Smith is back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They have Hawkinson.
Mm-hmm.
They have 2 tight ends. They have receivers everywhere. They have Dalvin Cook and
their defense is tissue thin.
Yeah, their defense, they give up a lot of points, except unless the Bears are playing them. So that's the second game on Sunday. Then Baltimore, Cincinnati.
That game's going to be awesome.
All I hear is Lamar Jackson's going to play. When was the last time we saw him?
The spread right now is that if Lamar Jackson is going to play.
When was the last time we saw him?
Week 10.
I mean, it's so we'll see. Cincinnati is a team that can just turn it on. With, like you said, mixing Perrine.
Yeah.
With those 2 guys running the ball, and then all the weapons they have receiving the ball with Chase and Boyd and Higgins. I know Higgins went out yesterday. Boyd got rocked yesterday too. That'll be a good game to close off the night on Sunday.
And Monday,
Dallas and Tampa.
I cannot believe that team is still in the playoffs.
Tampa?
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
They're
under 500. They're the only team under 500 that's in the playoffs.
They stink. And they're like, okay, sorry, Pete.
They are.
Sorry, Harry. I know you guys are down there in Tampa. I know you guys are rooting on your teams. Whatever. I'm sorry. Georgia is absolutely crushing TCU.
That's Harry. Harry's watching. Yeah, and Harry, we're sorry, but Tampa.
Yeah, I mean they fucking stink.
Yeah,
Like
they're
that's
not good.
but and I'm not trying to. I'm sorry for the F-bomb, but they really do. They stink.
Yeah,
The Bucks stink. Their offensive line is terrible. Their defense is terrible. Mike Evans is a crapshoot every other week, whether he's going to catch 9 passes or catch no passes.
right.
I mean, like that team just stinks.
How many? I mean, if you're Tom Brady, how many times when you go back to the huddle, you just say, "Why the hell am I here? Why did I not hang it up like I said I was going to?"
Right.
Because he's there. He's in the playoffs again. Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean,
to him.
that's great.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Wonderful.
You want a hapless division down there in the NFC South.
It's brutal. I'm looking here. Carolina 7-10, New Orleans 7-10, Atlanta 7-10.
Yeah.
3 7-10 teams, and Tampa's 8-9.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not giving Tom Brady a win for this season.
Yeah. Every team in that division gave up more points than they scored.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing. I'm looking at the stats right now. Okay, so those are the playoff games. I want to mention one thing about baseball.
Oh.
Yeah. No, it's just
Carlos Correa.
No, it's not Carlos Correa. Why? He's still coming to the Cubs?
I don't know where he's going at this point. Who knows?
No. Liam Hendricks comes out yesterday. Says he's got non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Oh, yeah.
I had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Cancer in my spleen. They took it out. I've been fine. Sylvie had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. He had some lymph nodes in his neck, his groin, his chest. They came out, or they didn't come out. They just did meds, chemo. He's fine. Liam Hendricks hopefully will be fine. The White Sox closer. He was first in the American League in saves 2 years ago, second last year in saves. There was a lot of talk during the offseason about the Sox trading Liam Hendricks. I wonder if they had any inkling that he was hurt, or not hurt, but sick. I would think not, because when you make an announcer you have a cancer, it usually comes out as soon as you find out when you're an athlete like that and stuff like that. So, hopefully things will go well for him. That's what happens when we don't pay the bill. No. We paid the bill. Thank goodness, because the Whistle Sports Bar and Grill, because of them, we have all this stuff in our studio here in downtown Lockport. But I was just saying, Liam Hendricks is going to attack cancer like any good Aussie would do, and let's kudos out to him. Harry Burks and I predicted Dallas to win that game. Well, we'll see. Real quick, 3 quick beer things, and then we're out of here. Nick and Ivy's got a Mama Pils coming out, and that's a Pilsner, an Italian Pilsner, in collaboration with Mama Onesta's, which is right down the street from Nick and Ivy's. That's coming out later on this week on Friday. Goldfinger, don't forget, Goldfinger, and I'm wearing their hat, the Goldfinger, the G, Goldfinger Brewing in downtown, or not, a little off downtown Downers. They have dark lager days coming up February 11th. If you're a fan of beer, check it out. I'll be there early. I'm always at these events early. I never go late. If they open at noon, I'll be there at 11:45. Okay, that's the way I do things. And a little bit of sad news. Rock Bottom Brewery. Now, a lot of Rock Bottoms are closed. The one at Bolingbrook closed and a couple other ones. But Rock Bottom Brewery, downtown on Grand Avenue, Grandin State, right in the corner of Grandin State. I was there for a Polar Beer Fest. It was an awesome time. I had a great, great time. I got pictures of me shaking hands with a polar bear, not a real one. The guy dressed up in a polar bear outfit. I don't know how much they paid him that day. But Rock Bottom Brewery is closing for good after 20 years in downtown Chicago. So, if you've not, and I saw the stuff. Josh Noel is the guy we had on our show. He was the beer writer and the beverage writer for the Chicago Tribune. He just left the Tribune. He's going to work for Molson Coors, and he's going to be one of their communications guys. Okay, a great guy, tremendous guy. Hopefully, we can get it. Maybe we can get him out in weeks to come. But he mentioned a lot of things about Rock Bottom, and because craft beer got as big as it is right now, places like Rock Bottom that made beer and showed you what craft beer could be like is one of the main reasons that the craft beer has gone as big as it is. And Rock Bottom Brewery closing, it was a great place. Loved it. Right there on the corner of Grand at State. I went there for a Polar Beer Fest, as I mentioned. Chef Brett said, "Oh, just let him in. He's Freddie Huebner, works at ESPN." And I went upstairs, drank beers, drank some of the Bourbon County proprietors. Met a lot of guys up there. Great, great time at Rock Bottom. So hopefully everybody over there does well. Mike's going to try and do a show on Wednesday. We got the hockey show on Tuesday, 12:52. We got lots of stuff going on. We'll follow you throughout the NFL playoffs. Like I said, keep an eye out on Facebook, and we'll let you know what we're doing next Monday because the Tampa Bay game is next Monday night. We don't want to be on the air while there's a playoff game going on, so maybe we'll do a show before that or something. We'll figure it out. We'll keep you posted on it. Thanks for watching, and 1252 Sports. That's where it all is. FatMike, Fred Huebner, thanks for watching here on 1252.
Thank you for listening to 1252 Sports Chicago.